What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a later episode of Between the Ropes. I apologize, but my schedule changed and I was having some internet issues and stuff like that. So, but in any case, we are here and we'll probably just do things a little faster so we can get Jeff out of here to go to work in the morning. We'll kind of burn through some stuff, but we made it. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on as usual during the week. A lot of stuff happened in just the last few days. And so there's a lot to talk about, Jeff, in the world of professional wrestling as usual.
Yeah, every week, man. Every time we do this, there's a whole lot to talk about. So yeah, should be a fun episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna get started, and we have some breaking news. And really, actually, before I guess I'll just welcome everybody real quick. Welcome to all of you that are here: Clown, Jason, Hassan, Terrence, Brandon, AB, Dylan, Damian, Brandon, Andrew, Bonus Baby, and that is that so far. So yeah, so welcome to everybody. Yeah, Conrad's out celebrating tonight, I'm sure, because of his big win for Buffalo.
Yeah, that was a big win.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game. Went down to the wire. So yeah, the undefeated streak is over. That means the 72 Dolphins will be celebrating tonight with some champagne, since they're still the only undefeated team in the NFL. So yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. So yeah, we the breaking news we have is kind of more of a graphics type thing, but we got a post, and I think C Wrestling was the one who shared this that I saw. But we have a new logo for Monday Night Raw, which was posted, and so yeah, I will talk a little bit about the logo for Raw. Jeff, I'm sure you saw it.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so that it's very interesting, we'll say.
It kind of looks it kind of looks a little like on the, I don't know, like I want to call it like, does it look darker a little bit? Does it look a little more I don't know what the word for it is. Let me pull it up here and see he has it on his thing. Yeah. So it's very odd. And I mean, I don't know if they conditioned it to look more for like it does because of Netflix in particular. But here, let me see if it'll show through the green screen. There it is. So that is what it looks like. And so, yeah, it's a little different. There it is. There we go. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. And I don't know, does it look a little more adult? Maybe I'm trying to figure out a word for it. Does it look a little more adult, kind of, maybe ish? Not so, with just the big letters that Raw used to have. It is very different than what we used to have on Raw. So
Yeah, it's an interesting design.
mhm.
Just kind of being in that world a little bit. It's a different kind of design, which is interesting. It's not the usual that we get. So
Yeah, they usually kind of do things a little more like flashy, like
yeah,
a little more, big, kind of in your face. Yeah, it looks like it's been Netflixed. Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, Netflix has, the font that they've used for years is just very, very basic. So yeah, it could be. Maybe the reason why that it is that way. There's Conrad celebrating in the chat now. It was a good game, Conrad. It was a good game. But yeah, so look, I mean, we figured we're going to get this. I mean, I doubt that the SmackDown logo will change because it's going to stay on networks that they've been on before in USA. But so yeah, this is probably just pretty much for Netflix, and we'll see. But yeah, in any case, things are changing, times are changing, and it's coming up on that time where we will be going over to Netflix and going to see how it is. Jeff mentioned on our Thursday show that SmackDown and Raw both looking like they're going to be going to 3 hours. So it's a lot of wrestling.
yeah, that's a lot of wrestling, and yeah, I mean, more to consume as a fan. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, but definitely interesting. I don't know if I'd go 3 hours with both, but that's just
Yeah.
me. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it might be a little overkill maybe if they do that, but yeah, I guess we'll have to see. Hopefully Raw doesn't have glitches like the boxing match the other day. Well, that wasn't much of a boxing match, and I don't think, people should be that upset if they couldn't watch it, because from what I heard, it was horrible. And many people that I know that watched it that aren't fans of wrestling were saying it was very similar to wrestling in the fact that it looked like it was scripted. So I don't know. Yeah, not Logan. Jake Paul needs to fight someone that's not retired, and then maybe I'll start to believe in him a little bit. But it doesn't look like he's going to go that route. Apparently, he wants Conor McGregor next. So yeah, there's even a dude that's on Twitter that's been challenging him all morning because he's very active on social media, and he was challenging him. I don't know the guy's name because I don't watch a lot of MMA, but he was pretty much saying to him, he's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. You don't fight anyone who's not retired, do you?" So I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's and it's so funny because people are looking back at it and they're showing like Tyson's workout video that he had like a little bit before the fight. And people are like, where was this? Like, where was this during this match? How could he work out and look so fast? And then all of a sudden he goes in and he just looks terrible. Well, there could be a lot of reasons why.
Could be about 20 million reasons why, but no, I do agree. I will say that I did watch it. Netflix had some definite issues. I don't know if it's because of how many people were trying to get on there to watch it, but they definitely had some buffering issues. So hopefully that is addressed before WWE goes live on there.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point because they're going to get a lot of people that are going to be watching Raw on that on Netflix, and probably a lot more than they may have had even on USA. So yeah, they better hope that they better get that fixed because that's the last thing you want is doing that and then get buffering during the show. That's going to suck. So yeah, well, anyway, so yeah, for those of you who watched that fight, it is what it is. What were you all expecting? Mike Tyson is 178 years old. Well, it wasn't what I was expecting. I didn't even watch it, but I think it was what everybody, all the people were kind of expecting. But yeah, it is what it is. Anytime an on-demand service starts doing live stuff, they have issues. Most usually fix them. They make too much money for those issues. LOL. This is why ratings discourse doesn't matter. Says Conrad. I saw too much of Tyson this week. Not my kind of cheeks, he said.
Yeah, they did show Tyson's cheeks.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was not the finest moment in that live stream, we'll say.
Paul making 40 million and Tyson 20 million. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. There's a lot of boxers, like retired, some of them retired boxers and stuff, that are really not liking what he's doing. They think he's making fun of their sport. And, so I don't know, they even talked to, it was funny. They even talked to Stallone about it. Someone interviewed him, I guess, more recently about his a show that's back on, I forget the name of the show. He plays like a gangster or something, I think, in it. But anyway, they asked him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it." He said it's kind of disgraceful. So yeah, whatever. Anyway, we're not here to talk about boxing. So yeah, that was the breaking news. It really wasn't much else other than that after beyond the shows that we had. So yeah, we'll just we'll get into the news. Brandon Wayne Lewis is here. Tazzy joined in. Hello, Tazzy. Stephen Chambers, Hassan, Tulsa King. Yeah, thank you. That's the name of it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that. I heard it's pretty good. All righty, let's get into the news, shall we? And we'll go over all the stuff that happened during the course of this past week. So, Jeff, what do we got first?
So the OG Bloodline is back together. For those who might have missed that, I doubt that you did. But Joe, here's a two questions here. One, who the heck is going to be their fifth member? And two, do you feel like this is missing the wise man? We're going to talk about that in another segment, but.
Well, first of all, guys, in the chat, do not spoil anything. Do not. So if you saw spoilers for Raw or anything like that, do not spoil it in the chat. I'm warning you right now. I mean, who it could be? My gosh, it could be anybody. I mean, it depends on who Sammy's going around recruiting. The fact that Bronson Reed is there, I would probably have two main choices off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
One of them can't wrestle right now, so one of them's kind of out because that would have been Braun because of the big fights he had. The other one would be Seth, but we know Seth already pretty much turned down Sami Zayn flat. So I don't know. If you're looking at that from that standpoint, is Seth angry enough at Bronson Reed that he would do it selfishly? But if that's the case, then they can't really rely on him because all he's going to really do is go after Bronson Reed. And he's not going to give a crap less really about anything else. It's all just for himself that he would be doing it. So I don't know. It's very interesting. There's others they could look at that they could possibly look to, but I don't know. And then as far as the wise man, Jeff, the fact that his number was disconnected, that's not good.
Not good at all. Not good.
That's not good for Roman. People are kind of already speculating about it. Like, could you imagine if someone else called him, like let's say Solo tried calling him and the phone would ring? Or somebody else even said, could you imagine if he's working with The Rock because Roman rejected him? I'm like, so there's a whole bunch of different ways that this can go. Roman looked very, very upset. He didn't, he kind of looked to him for advice. And after what happened on SmackDown, he called them up. He wanted to get a hold of him, and the numbers disconnected. So very, very interesting how they're working this story. And I'll tell you, Jeff, the Bloodline is right back into the fray. It's right back into the top storyline again, and I don't even think it's close. I mean, the stuff with Cody and KO is kind of neat, but this is now back in the limelight. This is the story of SmackDown right now.
Do you think that's a good thing, though?
You know, it's a hard question to answer, because some people, I think, are going to, and maybe some of you even in the chat, but I think some people are going to start looking at Cody's reign under a bit of a different light.
Yep.
Is it good? Like, is it as good? First of all, it's not obviously as popular as this story is right now. So is Cody's reign getting to be kind of overlooked a little bit? It's a great question. It really is. And you guys in the chat, let me know. Well, I mean, you know, what do you think of Jeff's question there? Do you think that Cody is getting a little bit over? I mean, he's still getting all the cheers, right? He's still getting all the merch sales and stuff like that. But, you know, he does appeal to a lot of younger people, kids and everything like that too. So, but if you look back on it, right, to this point, has it been a little underwhelming to the point of where, you know, you bring this Bloodline thing back, and now it's kind of like it never left, and it's kind of like the biggest thing now that's out there. So I don't know. I think it's a real good question. And then, you know, you got to start wondering if down the road are people going to get kind of sick of it a little bit, like they did with John Cena. So I don't know. That's a great question. It really is. But yeah, I mean, what are you thinking?
I think that while I like and enjoy the Bloodline storyline and the fact that they're able to add so many wrinkles to it, because that's what we're getting now. And, you know, we look back and we think about what Paul Heyman said, and we were like, man, this dude is just trying to sell what they got going on. He was actually right. It was like in the third inning then. But my question is, what inning are we in now? Because we're getting a lot of different wrinkles. I know for some it might be like, okay, you know, when is this thing going to be over for some? And then for others, it's like, okay, well, what are we going to get next? Because to your point, there's a lot of different things going on with this and a lot of different possibilities. But for you to have 2 championships, and in my opinion, in some ways, the world heavyweight title has been a little more, I'd say, prominently placed out there, especially when Seth was champ. But, you know, now you're getting business between Gunther and Damian Priest again, and that's good. So I just feel like with Cody, there was so much put into the chase of finishing the story, but now it's like, okay, well, what happens after you finish that story? What's your next story? And I think that's kind of where folks are right now. It's kind of a what have you done for me lately kind of deal. I mean, I enjoy Cody and I've enjoyed his reign. I do think that, you know, I think at times maybe he needs to break away from being so close in orbit to the Bloodline, but I think they need to do some more to compel, because while this is a great storyline, I just think you've got other things that you can do there. But because of the draft, SmackDown was kind of the odd show out, in my opinion.
Yeah, Conrad just mentioned that too. Yeah, that's true. It kind of is a weaker roster. See, I don't know. Like, to me, WWE, I think, should get past the fact that the champion has to be on a show. And maybe they will, getting away from Fox. Maybe that was even one of the things that they one of the reasons maybe why they wanted to get away from Fox a little bit too, because, you know, they always kind of wanted the champion there, right? That's that goes back to when Bray was champion and everything like that too. So maybe now they can get away from that, and that doesn't have to be the thing. I don't think you should limit yourself to one roster, because especially when SmackDown was only 2 hours long, Raw was 3. It made more sense to have, but now you have this whole 2 champion thing. But I don't think there should be restrictions on where the champions can wrestle. I don't. I think you're limiting it too much to a certain amount of people on the show. And if there isn't a really good roster stack there, then it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. To me, Cody would be better served on Raw right now, because I think that there's just more people there that would make for more interesting storylines. The Kevin Owens thing, I mean, we've kind of seen it and done that. But now they're turning him into a heel, which will be fine, I guess. But we've seen it before. So I think, and someone in the chat too said he was better as a chaser than he is as a champ. That could be partly true, but I think a lot of it was the fact of that chase and how long it was. It drug out so long, and so many people just couldn't wait to finally see him win. But then where do you go from there? Where do you go? And some of the matches he's had have been good. I mean, the AJ Styles stuff was good. The matches were good, but it just, nothing, I don't think, really lived up to that chase part of it in Roman. So I don't know. It's a great question.
And I think the other question that we have to ask too is, let's be completely 100% honest. Since WrestleMania, since Cody has been champion, when have we really felt like his championship was in jeopardy?
Yeah.
And I think if we're being honest, I don't think we can say we have felt that way.
Yep.
So, I mean, again, building up the credible, legitimate threats that make us feel like, he could lose this. I just don't think we're there yet.
Yep. I agree. It's and what's it going to take? What's it going to take? Even when he went up against Solo Sikoa, nobody thought he was going to lose that match, and that probably was the maybe some people's closest one to thinking that he would. I don't think he's going to lose to Kevin Owens. So right away there, that's not making. I would, to be honest, and no offense to KO, I think a storyline with Randy Orton would have been better. Maybe that's coming, but I think that would have been better because of the history there. And you never know with Orton. Orton can just, he's the Viper. He can just strike without you even knowing. So I think that would have been better. But then, then you wonder, well, where is he possibly going to lose? And I don't know. Maybe they need The Rock to come back. Maybe if The Rock comes back and challenges him, as he said he was going to do at some point, maybe that's when people start to be a little afraid that maybe The Rock's going to beat him. I don't know. It's really kind of a conundrum for WWE, because it's especially, again, with things changing and stuff, and WrestleMania is right around the corner. Some people are asking, well, how about CM Punk and Cody? That would definitely be something that people would like to see, and that would be something people would possibly feel afraid that Cody may lose. So they're throwing names out there, but I don't know. It's very, very interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah. I just feel like to maybe reset, I feel like you have to make it feel like he's gonna lose. Like, even if that's not the case, at least make us feel that way. And I just feel like right now, kind of the run he's on, you just don't get a sense that he's going to lose in any way. I mean, you can even look at Crown Jewel and you can argue that maybe Gunther should have won that.
Yeah.
But again, what are they going to do to kind of add that element of shock value and shock factor back into his run? at this point.
Yeah. Very, very true. Andrew says the Ulafala has more importance than Cody Rhodes in his title. Unfortunately, I think we're beginning to see more Homelander Cody after what KO did to Randy. Yeah, now it's and the thing is, when you listen to Kevin Owens talk, a lot of the stuff that he's saying isn't necessarily not true. It's not, what he's saying is like he's kind of talking facts. And so it's going to be a very weird thing because I know people love Kevin Owens no matter if he's a heel or if he's a face. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know how long they're going to drag this out. This could get drug out to Royal Rumble because they may have him wrestle at Royal Rumble for the title. So it could get dragged out to that. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see. And if they keep going forward and they go with Randy, is Randy going to be his Mania opponent? Is it going to be Cody and Randy at Mania? I don't know, but yeah, we could probably talk about this for 2 hours because it's a topic and a lot of people are talking about it and rightfully so. A lot of it needs to be kind of clarified and find out where exactly they're going with Cody. So yeah, interesting though. All right, man. What do we have next?
So we have a new Women's United States Championship, Joe.
Very
what do you
cool
think about this, man?
Yeah, very cool. I listen. Anytime that they do something for the women, and they make more titles for the women, I'm all for that. A lot of people I think were saying that they thought there should be more women's titles out there, and I agree. That's the thing. They're bringing up a lot of women from NXT. They've got a lot of women in NXT right now that they're going to end up bringing up at some point soon. So, I think it's good. I think it just gives the women more than just right now. You just have those women's tag titles, and of course the women's champion. So I think this is a good idea. I think it's going to get the spotlight on, some more women that maybe we wouldn't see titles on prior, or things like that. Just some different women that are around. And who knows, we talked about it on the show. We're going to have Charlotte back at some point soon. We're really not sure about Becky, but I don't really think she's retired. I think at some point she'll come back. So the WWE is women's wrestling is doing really well. They have a lot of fantastic talent and a lot of fantastic talent that are coming up from NXT. So I'm all for it, Jeff. I like to see more attention given to the women.
Yeah, and I think, for this title, I'd love to see someone like Natalya or someone like that be the inaugural champ. You have a lot of talent though that you've got at NXT right now, and I feel like this title can be used to kind of introduce that talent to the rest of the WWE fans that don't necessarily watch NXT. So I love the idea of having this title. I think is really good. We'll see how they establish this thing, but I'm glad to see that they're highlighting the women by adding an additional title.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's always good when you've got a lot of talent there, and those women like the people that are down in NXT, of course, the women's champ down there, Julia, all of them, they're not going to be down there forever.
Right.
So you really you've got to do something to beef up that women's division a little bit and get something out there. So yeah, no, I think this is a great idea. And the more attention that they get, the better off they are. So yeah, I like it. What do you guys think about it? Length of Roman's title run limited the building of new contenders on the heel side. I also I think Bloodline Civil War should have stayed 4 versus 4. Yeah, I mean, bringing in Bronson is a little odd. He's just kind of a guy that just likes destroying stuff. Yeah, I guess that maybe they wanted him in there because of that. But yeah, I agree. It kind of maybe should have stayed within the families, but no need for fives. Jeff agrees too. Yeah, it probably could have stayed 4-4. It probably could have been fine like that, but who knows? I say Becky will be back for the debut on Netflix. I can't wait till Alexa comes back. Would love Mia Yim winning it. Yeah, there's another person who is deserving of some. Her or Naomi. I would like to see Naomi win. Naomi, listen, we all know what she was when she was in TNA. She vaulted right in and got the title. Right in and got the title. And we saw how good she was with that title. She deserves to have something in WWE. And she's that good, and she should have a title at some point. So I would love to see her win this and get a little bit of respect over in WWE. Put it on Jade and lead into a fall episode. Well, that I think is going to happen. That's for sure going to happen. That's going to happen. Yeah, there is going to be a fallout between those two. So yeah, I agree. That's definitely going to happen for sure. When do you think the women's IC title will be introduced? Good question, Jeff. What do you think?
I don't think they'll introduce another title for the women. I think this was kind of the opportunity to. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they do introduce another, but I don't think they'll introduce another title. I think this will be it. And I did have a question for you though in the chat. So, do you think what would you think if they made this title akin to the X Division title in TNA, and you had an option C type of thing with it, where at some point whoever holds the title could say, okay, I feel like I'm ready to challenge the champion now. I'm going to choose this. I'm going to trade this in for my title shot. How do you think that would work there? And is that something you would be interested in?
Interesting. Yeah. I think it'd be cool. Maybe if they started to do something like that. I mean, the X Division thing in TNA gives them that little bit of extra edge, I think, because it's just a different way for people to get a title shot. So yeah, I think that would be kind of neat. Chelsea Green would be a good pick. Another person there that definitely could be, someone that can go for that. Naomi had the glow belt before she went to TNA. I could see whoever wins being instantly pinned by Tiffany, start a title feud right off. I think they're saving the Tiff thing for a turn on Nia Jax. I think she's definitely going to end up turning on Nia at some point and take Nia's title. That probably will be drawn out, maybe even until WrestleMania, or maybe Rumble. But yeah, that title belongs to Chelsea Green. I have. You're talking about the game. Yeah, the game's terrible. It's what is it, 21-6 already? Yeah, the game's bad. What are you saying? It's a great game. Must be great for you and your fantasy players or something. Yeah. All right, cool. So what do we have next, Jeff?
The Miz just
God.
keeps screwing up. He screwed up.
Like what possesses him? And I think I said this on Fireflies last week. Like, couldn't you see like more like his wife just smacking him around after he does something like this? Like, what are you thinking? Like isn't it bad enough that one of our kids is probably scarred for life because of an evil doll that appeared in the crib? And now you're going and doing this and messing around with them again. Like, what are you thinking? Like, and of course now he got the one up on them this past week, but it's not going to end well for him. It's not. And ultimately, Karrion Kross and his faction could turn on him too. And that's the thing. And then he'll be left out in the cold again. He had a good thing going there with R-Truth. And nope, that was not good enough. Miz always has to be selfish and do stupid things. And boy, this is just stupid. This is just stupid. He's gonna pay, and listen, it's not going to be pretty. if you know that his brother already did a home invasion, what do you think that all of the Wyatt Six are going to be able to do? I don't know, but Jeff, it's I'm kind of a little afraid for the Miz at this point.
Yeah, the Miz is screwed. I mean, that's
Yeah,
just there's no other way to put it. He's screwed. The Wyatt Six are going to teach him a lesson that he probably should have learned long ago.
yeah, yeah. He's so like I don't know. He's so full of himself that he just doesn't. All he thinks about is himself. He doesn't. That's just his character and what he does. But man, when you're going up against, it's basically like you barely survived the first whole thing with Bray, let alone going after this faction that is obviously doing things in Bray's memory. So they they're going to know that. They know what he did to Bray. So oh boy, it's so stupid. It's really dumb of him to do.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, look, Miz is great at what he does in wrestling. He's a great heel, and the fact that they're pairing him up with with Cross's faction, with the Final Testament, it's I guess it's kind of fitting, but eventually when they get tired of getting beat up, which is going to happen, they're going to turn on a dime on Miz, and Miz is going to be the one on the outside looking in. So yeah, very, 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 very silly.
Yep.
I don't think WWE is that forward thinking to use the women's U.S. title as option C. Otherwise, Bayley wouldn't have advanced Friday. Bayley feels too conservative a candidate to win. How did Miz get busted open getting drug out to the? Yeah, I know he had.
That's a good question.
Good, that is a good question. He had the blood and everything like that there. Yeah, that is a very good question. What if Wyatt Six goes to Miz's home?
It's a possibility.
All bets are kind of off, I think now. They did it. I mean, you see the picture up there on the screen of Uncle Howdy laughing hysterically. So I'm sure there was something going through that mind of his when he was doing that, and who knows? But it was. I wouldn't be too comfortable sitting in my living room at this point. It was at that moment that Miz realized he screwed up. Yeah, man, It's very, very bad. And Miz still owes Dexter Lumis some coin. Yeah, it's it's very, very, very dumb. Very, very dumb.
He's gonna pay for sure. Just probably way more than what he owes Dexter at this point.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I'm thinking Io versus Liv Saturday night's main event. Io Sky not wins at Rhea versus Liv Saturday night's main event part 2 on January 25th. Rhea wins against Io Sky, winner women's Royal Rumble. Yeah, maybe a lot of possibilities there. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens on Raw, if the Wyatt Six are on Raw or not. I know that Raw is taped, so we'll see. We'll see if they show up or not again this week, and we'll see whether or not Miz survives.
Yeah.
So, but tune in to Fireflies, guys. If you, of course, are fans of Bray Wyatt, and if you're fans of the Wyatt Six. We do a show called Fireflies Forever. If you're not aware of it, if you're new to the channel, if you're just starting to watch, that is every Tuesday at 6:00 p.m. where we kind of review everything that happened with the Wyatt Six for this past week. So tune into that to find out exactly when maybe the Miz will be in big trouble. So, all right, man.
All right, up next. So I gotta admit, the Hurt Syndicate may be my favorite thing in wrestling right now. But looks like we're getting Bobby Lashley and Swerve Strickland at Full Gear, which is next weekend. So just want to briefly talk about that.
Yeah, I mean they're doing an amazing job with this, and I figured that they would. I've said before, I loved this when it was happening in WWE. I still think that they missed a big opportunity with it. And so Bobby and MVP and Shelton Benjamin took their wares and went elsewhere. And I can't blame them for doing that. But yeah, I think this is going to be really good. And what a first feud to have against Swerve. Swerve and Bobby is going to be a fantastic match. And now what are you going to see there? is there going to be interference? Are you going to see, MVP, with some shenanigans in there to help Bobby possibly win? We'll see. It's going to be interesting. And Brandon wants to know does Swerve join the faction at some point? And this is sometimes what you get from factions, right? You might see where it's almost like they're kind of recruiting, but if the recruits say no, then basically they just beat them up. And eventually they beat him maybe down enough where the recruit says, you know what, I'm kind of tired of getting beat up, so I think I might want in. So that's that's a possibility. You could possibly have Swerve maybe change his mind at some point down the road. I don't know if it'll happen right away, but but it's very interesting. I'm glad to see all three of those men getting their due, and I'm glad to see that the Hurt Business is back together, because it was really, really awesome in WWE. And like I said, I think it was just a big time missed opportunity for them.
Yeah. I agree, man.
Good stuff. The Bengals are struggling. The Bills are cooking. Does Swerve join the faction soon? Well, we'll see. We shall see. But
Joe,
yeah.
I'm gonna skip the next thing and go to just go to this. So the Tigs, they're coming soon, right?
They are. Yeah, they're coming soon. I'm gonna have to work on those. I usually will start working on those in December.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's already that time. So what I would say to you guys is, you can comment on this video. You can send us DMs to Twitter, wherever you want. We also have Insiders Pro Wrestling at Gmail. You can see our email up there. Do me a favor and hit us up wherever you want to in any of those things. Hit us up on, you're all going to vote, but hit us up on whether on one topic, like each, what I'd ask from you is give us one topic that maybe you'd like to see. One topic that maybe you'd like to see on the award show that maybe we've not done before. We have all the basics covered, like pay-per-view of the year, male wrestler of the year, women's wrestler of the year. We cover all that, but give us a topic that you think that you would like to see us cover on the awards this year. And also let us know if there's, that's fine. Yeah, let us know if there's a topic on the awards or a topic for the awards that you would like to see on the award show. Just let us know, wherever way you want to send it. You can, like I said, comment on this video. You can send it via the email or over on Twitter and DMs, whichever. We'll get it. So, yeah, get prepared, guys, because it's coming. I would love to see all of you vote. It literally doesn't take long. You go through, you select your choices. It's usually 10. I think it's 10, right? 10 categories.
Yeah.
We usually have 10. So go on, make sure you go and vote. I'll put the as soon as it goes up, it'll probably be like maybe the second week of December, third week of December, I would say it'll be out. So make sure you go, you click the link. It'll take you into Survey Monkey, and make sure you vote. We'd like to see a lot of you get in there and vote. We had a great turnout the year before this past year. This past year was kind of okay, but not super. So we'd like to see all of you vote. We just went through a lot of voting here in the United States, and we want to get that burned out of our brain. So let's vote on something fun, like wrestling. So yeah, make sure you vote, and let us know what you think you may want. But while it's up there, Jeff, is there anything on your mind? Like, match of the year is going to be insane.
Yeah, I don't even know how you begin to even start there, because there's just so many matches, so many great matches. I can think of about 4 right now, and that's without thinking about WWE.
Yeah.
So bonus baby Joe doesn't know what TIGS means, so I'll let you do the honors.
Well, I can't kind of say it, right? Can I say? I guess I can. TIGS means, ready? This is good shit. There you go. That's what Tiggs means. Obviously, I don't say it as much anymore, and I that voice doesn't come out of me as much anymore for particular reasons. But that's what it means. It's basically just our end of the year awards show. But that's what we named it because that was back when that kind of stuff was funny and everything like that, which we don't do a lot of that anymore. I don't do my impersonation anymore, but that's what it is. But yeah, let us know. Reach out and definitely join us for the award show. We usually like to get everybody here. Sometimes Tazzy joins us for the show as well, and to give his picks. And maybe we'll have Chris on because Jody used to join us for the show as well. So and we'll all get together for that sometime in January. It's usually, I think we did last year the second weekend of January. I think it was second. It'll be on a Sunday. It'll take the place of this. Just start getting ready as to what you think, who you think your female wrestler of the year, your male wrestler of the year is, your match of the year, your pay-per-view of the year, like all that stuff. And make sure you go and vote because it's going to be tough. Match of the year is going to be a tough one, I think. A really, really tough one.
Wrestler of the year too.
Male and female wrestler of the year.
It's going to be really tough.
It is. Yeah, it is.
You could argue still Roman.
Mm-hmm.
You could argue Cody
for WWE.
MJF. I mean, there's Speedball, Josh Alexander. I mean, there's just a lot of different names out there that you could nominate.
Nick Nemeth
for sure.
Joe Hendry. Look how good Mustafa Ali was doing when he was in TNA.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of folks that that we could that are deserving of it that could definitely be nominated. So
for sure. Bryan Danielson in AEW.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot.
Swerve in AEW.
Yeah.
I think he was my wrestler of the year last year, if I'm not mistaken.
And we didn't even get into NXT. There's a lot of people in NXT who have been amazing this year.
Page, I mean, Wesley, Oba Finney. I mean, there's just a lot. So
Yep, for sure. So just keep it in mind. It's coming up. And like I said, I'll get the polls together. Like I said, probably second or third week of December, they should be out for you guys to vote for. So make sure that you vote. I'll make sure and share it on all the social platforms. It'll obviously be on Twitter. I'll share it on YouTube as well, the link for the people who primarily just watch us on YouTube. I'll share it over on our Facebook page. And so we'll make sure with that we get it out there for everybody. And just take the time and vote. We want to see us get. I think the highest we ever got was like 120 something, 130 something, if I remember right. So I want to see us break that. So let's get everybody out there that listens to the show or watches the show to go out and vote in the poll. It would be very cool. Osprey delivering bank. Yeah. Will Osprey. I mean, Takashita. I mean, you can name a whole plethora of people. It's going to be a really, really, really good show this year. Really, really good show. And of course, we will give our picks, and then we will show what you guys voted for the winner in each category. So, yep. All right, man. What's next?
Do you have a grievance this week?
I don't think I really did have one. Did you?
Not really.
Okay. Well, you know what? We love that segment, but since we're going to be on a time budget here, we'll just skip it for this week, and we'll stay positive for this episode because a lot of times, grievances can get a little down and dirty. So we'll keep it positive tonight, and we'll skip over we'll skip over Jerry Stiller. I do miss Jerry, but he'll be back. He'll be back for sure. By the next one, I'm sure we'll probably have something.
Oh yeah.
So we'll skip over it. We'll go to Sell or No Sell. Let's do that, shall we? You know how this goes. Sell or no sell. Sell it if you like it. No sell it if you don't. And then we'll get to you guys. We'll get the class participation part where you guys will give us one. Hopefully each of you will give us one, and we'll be able to fill up our spinner. And then we'll spin the spinner, Jeff will, and we'll pick one of yours. All right, Jeff, topic number 1.
Jordan Grace will win WWE/NXT Gold in 2025, Joe? Sell or no sell?
Well, I think we're kind of all under the impression that Jordan is going to WWE, and I don't think that's much of a question. And I think it will be probably sooner than later. My God, did you see the picture? She put out another picture of herself on her Twitter today. Holy, she honestly looks like a completely different person. Completely different person. But yeah, look, I think so. I think it's safe to say that. Yeah, I'm gonna sell it. I think the world of Jordan. TNA is going to miss her terribly when she leaves. But I do believe Jordan's a star, and she made herself put herself where she is, remade herself in not only body but in character. And you could just see, like, she is much more confident. She's a different person, and she's going to be an asset to WWE. And someday it's going to be great, Jeff, to see her on the main roster, because she's going to get there, and she's going to be right up there, probably holding WWE gold for the women's championship at some point too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a definite sell. What about you?
Everything you said. There's nothing further I need to add. Sell.
Now let's see what everybody's got out here. I think they're all in agreement. I have a grievance. Retail stores are not a playground to let your kids run around while you shop. Brandon says yes. Sell says AB. Sell says John. Conrad says sell. Dylan says sell. And Damien says, I will sell it. However, I don't know if it'll be right away. Easy selling, Jordan Gray, says Andrew. She might have WWE gold in 2024. I will sell if she officially joins NXT. So, yeah, I think we're pretty much all in agreement here. We all are fans of Jordan, and we respect what she's done. And, yeah, I don't think it's going to take long at all. Shawn Michaels obviously believes in her. I'm sure that Triple H knows of her and has met her. So Derek says sell. Yeah, I agree. That's a straight sell.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got next?
All right. Topic 2, the Bloodline storyline is missing Paul Heyman. Sell or no sell?
Well, the fan reaction certainly sold it the other night when he said, call the wise man, didn't it? The cheers coming from the audience. Certainly. Yeah, look, he's an integral part of it. He's a mouthpiece. He's the talker. He's like what MVP does for the Hurt Business. Yeah, I would kind of think so. He's a missing piece, and he's a big piece of it. And now you're like, well, what the hell, man? Like, where is he going to go? He's not answering calls from Roman, obviously. Where is he going to end up now? Everybody was just assuming. I mean, I did too. I assumed that Paul was going to walk out maybe at Survivor Series, and then he was going to be, in Roman's corner. Now I'm not so sure. Now I don't know. I mean, and suggesting that he would join up with Solo when what they did to him. Obviously, remember the last time we saw Paul, he was put through a table. He went out of the ring on a stretcher in a neck brace. So would he really go back with them? Then again, Paul is a lot of times consumed by fear. So does he really want to go against them at this point after what happened to him? Or, like we said earlier in the show, could The Rock be a factor here? Could there be something going on with Paul Heyman and The Rock? I don't know, but yeah, I think it's a sell. Jeff, what about you?
It's an easy sell for me. And I don't want to diminish or take away from anything that Roman did or has done since kind of overhauling his character. I would argue, though, that there's no one other than Paul Heyman who could have ushered in that character change and made it stick the way that it stuck. I don't think there's anyone else that could have helped Roman out that could have been kind of that wise man, that mouthpiece, so to speak. I don't think anyone else would have been able to do the same. So, in many ways, Paul has been the MVP. I would say him and Jay Uso have been the MVPs at different times. So yeah, he's definitely missing from this, and we'll see where his allegiances lie. We'll see if he and I'm gonna age myself here. We'll see if he has a dangerous alliance with The Rock, and hopefully, I've got some WCW fans in the chat that picked up what I just put down. So,
You know, I mean, there are some pieces missing. A lot of people are asking, where is Hikuleo? Is The Rock going to form his own and come in with that? You don't know at this point.
Not saying that this is going to happen, but could you imagine a scenario where the winner of this match looks up the ramp and you see The Rock with 4 other people? Like, how crazy would that be?
What was the last time? What happened the last time we saw The Rock? What did he do? He pointed at Cody and Roman and went like this.
Yep.
It could easily happen. It could easily happen. Rock might be recruiting some of his own people. And what better way to get and I'll tell you what, Jeff, this storyline would be priceless, because how long is it until Paul switches allegiances? Because you know that's the thing. Yes, he's with The Rock, maybe, but you're always going to be on the edge of your seat, because is he really with The Rock, or is he kind of playing the double agent that Paul is so good at? But yeah, we're going back to this whole thing, but ultimately, yes, it does miss Paul Heyman for sure. And let's see what everybody says. I think they all agree. Conrad says sell. Brandon Wayne Lewis says yes. John G says sell. Damien says major sell. Bonus Baby says sell. Dylan says sell. I'm really selling it because it needs Heyman. Sell, says Andrew. No sell. Okay, because of timing. I like being different. LOL. That's all good. AB says sell. Paul is legit the glue guy of the Bloodline family and the story. Does Paul go with Solo just to keep him from getting beat up every week? That could possibly be too. But then, does he offer them his services and then but he's doing that, but he's kind of not. And he's maybe trying to make that implode from within, because that'd be another thing that he could possibly do. Paul is the linchpin, says Deanna. Hello, Deanna, by the way. Solo did smash Heyman's phone. Plus, is Paul working with The Rock? And does Paul come back looking different, all gray with a beard? My first sell or no sell. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get to those in a second. Jeff, I smell what you're cooking with your bricked phone. You know who else is missing? Caleb Braxton sneaking up on Paul Heyman backstage. War Games. I don't think Jacobs is as loyal to Solo as you think.
That's good.
The Rock will be the one to dethrone Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41. Seller. Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, we're getting our ones together for question 3 here. Some people already put some out, so there we go. I think we got 2.
Yep.
So Jeff will get these all set to go. Brandon said, my first is Women's Rumble winner should headline night 1 of WrestleMania, and Men's Royal Rumble winner should headline night 2.
Women's headline night 1.
Men's headline night 2. Winner of the Rumble. Interesting. Damien says The Rock will be the one to dethrone Cody at WrestleMania.
Got that.
Derek also sold the last one. Paul turned on Brock back in the day. Never say never. Rock's going to reveal himself as the mastermind behind the Timu bloodline eventually. AB sells, Ryan sells. TNA to become the 4th brand with the WWE, says Deanna.
Got that.
Wow. My other would be smart to have Cody versus The Rock at the Royal Rumble as the best way to set up Cody versus Roman 3 at Mania 41.
Mm.
And then Barry Monkey has, if The Rock returns, will Ava be with him, allowing her to introduce someone like Oba Femi? That's interesting. That's interesting. We have one from John G as well. John Cena beats Gunther for the World Championship.
Oh, you think they're going to give him that record, huh?
That record title. Very interesting. Derek's got one. Does Netflix cause the brand split to end due to
Good
wanting
question.
all the top talent?
That's a good question. I like that.
How many more do we need? Need one more gop. We got it. Bonus, baby. Oh, that's not a wrestling one. That's a food one. You need to have that for the food ones. We need one more. One more wrestling one, guys. I have never put milk in a bowl before cereal. No, never, ever. Cereal's always gone first. TNA joins the WWE family on CW. Okay.
Okay.
Think they're going to move off of Anthem, off of whatchamacall, channel that they're on that I don't even get anymore. Andrews will hold till next week.
I like that one, though.
Joe Hendry, not a current roster talent, will get the rub in John Cena's retirement match. Wow. Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
I like
imagine
that.
John Cena and Joe Hendry. Oh my God, Jeff. If they would let him do music about Cena, dear Lord.
Well, think about this, Joe. Think about this.
Oh my God.
Think about it as a program, a full feud, okay?
Oh man.
And think about if Cena, if Hendry comes out with a song about Cena, which forces Cena to kind of go back to the Doctor of Thugonomics Cena. And he comes out with a rap about Hendry. Think about some of those promos and
how my God. They would be amazing.
That'd be amazing. So here's the board.
There you go. There's the spinner. Jeff's going to spin it. We're going to get topic 3.
By the way, I'm just going to say it now, even though I want to talk about that one more next week. I'm selling the heck out of that. I really want to see that.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so here's the wheel. Let's see. All right. So the question of the women headlining night 1 and men headlining night 2.
That's a good one. I mean, it would get past the whole thing of like where we're wondering, why, are the women going to headline one thing or are they not? I like it. Yeah, I like it. Why not? I'm going to sell it. I think it's great. The women should headline one night. If we're doing 2-night stuff, I think that should happen all the time. If they're going to do 2-night SummerSlam, they should have headlines. One night should be a women's match. One night should be a men's. I like it. I think it should be that way. And this way, the Rumble winners, it makes a lot of sense. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one thing to prominently feature women's wrestling, but it's another to prominently get behind it. And I think that means high profile matches on pay-per-views. And I'm going to sell this. I think, again, like people are saying, if the storyline calls for it, but I also think you should be elevating those storylines to make it matter that it has to be the main event. So I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah. listen, they could do that in advance, right? Like the Derek saying sell only if there's a storyline that calls for it. I'm all for it. I think they can WWE writes their storylines quite a ways in advance. So I think they can make it so that that they would have storylines already that would lean to it. But yeah, I just think it's a great idea. I do. And we're at the point now where women and men should be held at the same level. There shouldn't be a divvy. There shouldn't be like, well, Cody's more important. Cody Roman's more important than whatever match the women can give us. Let's say if there's next summer, well, Cody and whoever it's going to be. Let's say it's Cody Randy Orton. Well, that's more important than the 2 or 3 men's matches are more important. Roman and someone. Roman and Solo, they're more important than Rhea versus Liv, which that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case. They're on even levels. There's people that love women's wrestling more than men's, and there's a reason for that. So yeah, I think I agree. I think they should be on even keel, and they definitely should each have a headliner. I agree. Clown says one night should be headlined by the women, regardless of the Rumble winner. A story should be planned for one of the champions to headline. I agree with Jeff said. Make it important. Yeah. We're too far in now to not have that. We're too far in now to not have that. And that's why every wrestling show, NXT does a great job with their women. WWE, TNA, AEW is getting some great women there. They all need to understand that we're in the time of women's wrestling now, and it has to be a focus. So Jeff says if you don't make it matter to the fans, it won't. You have to make it matter and elevate the story to that point, regardless of men or women's programs. Yeah, very true. If the story isn't there, it's not going to matter.
Right.
Yep. Good stuff. All right. Well, that is the sell or no sell thing. We will. We have that one that we'll save. We'll keep that and we'll use that one for next week's show. Or won't be next week because there's pay-per-views next week, I think. Yeah.
Yep, which we're about to talk about that.
We are going to talk about that segue. Mackenzie says Liv Morgan should win the rivalry against Rhea Ripley at Mania 41. Well, look, I mean, Liv is incredibly popular right now. I don't know if they're going to take the belt off of her anytime soon. She's very, very popular right now, so it wouldn't surprise me if she did. All right, Jeff, what do we got next?
All right, so we have a lot of
holy
yes, a lot of shows that are coming up. So I figured instead of like going through each card and trying to, do that because that'll take us another hour. We'll just briefly go through each and just kind of show you when they are.
Yeah.
This one Full Gear is coming up next weekend, so that should be a lot of fun. Joe, is there a match that you're looking forward to? I mean, we've got Orange Cassidy and John Moxley. I'm really looking forward to that one. Mercedes Moné, Chris Statlander. I'm looking forward to that one too. Jack Perry and Daniel Garcia should be good. But Swerve and Bobby Lashley is the one I'm looking forward to most. I think.
Yeah, I would say so too. John Moxley and Orange Cassidy is interesting to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they really gonna give? Would they give Orange Cassidy the title? Maybe it's time. I mean, MJF versus Adam Cole or Roderick Strong, Jay White versus Hangman Page. I mean, there are some really, really good matchups here. Yeah,
good match.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, the Lashley and Swerve one, I think. Yeah, I think I agree with you. That's Ospreay and Fletcher will be awesome. Yeah. There's a lot of really good matches, but I think the Swerve Lashley one is the one I'm gonna have my eye on as well.
I agree. That's, like I said, that's my favorite thing going in wrestling, I think, right now. The Hurt Syndicate. It's just So all right, this one we'll have a watch along for. on
Yes.
this channel. So
on Black Friday, where Joe
Yeah.
will be probably like either all hipped up on some kind of caffeine, or I got my schedule. I'm working that morning at 6 a.m. So I'm gonna have to be up at like 4:20 in order to get ready and to get up to work. So I'm gonna be 6 a.m. till 3 p.m. that day. No, I'm sorry, 6 to 3:30. So it's a 9-hour shift or so. I'm gonna have to get home by like 4:15. Maybe I'll nap. I don't know. Maybe I'll have something for dinner and maybe I'll nap for a little bit. But that's going to be a long day. But Black Friday for Turning Point. Yeah. Look, it's cool now that we're getting more from TNA, because usually this is the time of year when we're focusing on that crazy, the one they used to do where they don't have all the different characters around Thanksgiving. So it's going to be a good one, and other than me being exhausted, it's going to be a fun show.
yeah, it should be a lot of fun. This could very well be. I mean, maybe we see her again at Final Resolution, but this might be the last time we see Jordan Grace in TNA.
It could.
At least one of the last times that we'll probably see her there. So, some good stuff here too, and we don't know what we're gonna get from Joe Hendry and Nick Nemeth, and
we have a turkey bowl match.
Got a turkey bowl match where someone's gonna end up in a turkey suit, so that should be a lot of fun. This is good. I'm looking forward to this one, and it's kind of in my neck of the woods back home, and it's WrestleCade weekend, so can't really beat that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, this is gonna be crazy.
War Games. Yes, they have to have Regal do that. I mean, I know he didn't last year. No, I don't know. He's with WWE, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. You have to have him come out and announce it. I mean, he is. It's not the same without him doing that.
I know there was a period of time where he couldn't appear on WWE TV. Because of things with AEW, but I don't know if that time has passed. So
yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know. So we'll see.
Even record it and just do it. Just have it play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Record it and just have it play as the intro, and you don't even have to have him on TV. You can get around it that way. But yeah, we'll see. It's good. Conrad says no, sir. Those tickets for War Games are too expensive for me. Still thinking about whether I should go or not. But yeah, this is going to be a good one, guys. I mean, obviously, the whole Bloodline thing is going to be here. We're going to see. Chances are, whatever is going to happen with Paul Heyman is more than likely going to happen here. So that's one of the things to look forward to. But we're going to have, men's and women's. So we're going to get a women's War Games match in this too.
Yeah.
Who knows what else is going to get announced for this? We could maybe have, we talked about this on Fireflies. We could maybe have Wyatt Six going up against the Cross's faction too. It might possibly happen. We'll have to see. We'll see how many matches are going to schedule for this. This could be a lighter show where they only maybe have like 5 matches because of the 2 big ones that are going to take a while. War Games matches go a while. So this might be a lighter one where it might not be a big card. But the Survivor Series is always fun, no matter how they do it, because it's it gets a little more brutal with the matches and things like that. So, and the fact that they're doing the War Games matches in there now is always fun to watch.
Yeah.
Regal can appear now, says Conrad. Okay. Time has passed. He's been on TV. Would love to see OC win it, but I think Mox continues to take over. But yeah, what do you think of Survivor Series, Jeff?
I think it's going to be good, man. Mm-hmm. I agree with what Conrad said earlier. I don't think that the Bloodline stuff needed 5. I think that in some ways you're tying other storylines to the Bloodline, and sometimes that can be a way to kind of artificially pump in some juice to that program.
Yeah.
But I don't think they need 5, but I'm interested to see if we get some shenanigans, as we say, and if we get The Rock or if we get some additional members showing up and which side they choose.
You know what could even happen, Jeff? If it indeed is Seth and Bronson, they might end up just having their own fight outside the ring or something
Mhm.
somewhere, and may not even get inside of the
Yeah,
match. Something goofy like that could end up
yeah,
happening, where the two of them just go fight out in the crowd.
yeah,
So yeah, there's a lot of things that could end up happening there, but I think this is going to be a big one. Ooh, I forgot about this one. Deadline.
yeah.
I forgot about this one. I was thinking all we had left after that was the main event, was
No,
Saturday night's main event.
no, yeah. Deadline is coming up, so let me see if we've got some of the card um announced for this one.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. If in Wikipedia, it's got an Iron Survivor Challenge, 25-minute match that features 5 wrestlers. Oh no, that's no these now. Never mind. That's the old ones. I'm reading the old stuff on Wikipedia. Yeah, I don't know if they have anything announced for it. I'm not finding anything myself.
Oh no, we'll see. We'll see. I think I'm interested to see what we get with Trick and Ridge Holland and
Yeah,
all of that. I'm curious to see how that goes,
yeah,
and if we're gonna get Trick up on the main roster at some point in 2025. We'll see, but
yeah,
yeah, and Julia and Stephanie. I mean, there's just so much going on in NXT right now.
yeah.
So and then
Uh,
obviously, then we got this one, Joe.
I am so fired up for this. I mean, we grew up watching this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is. I hope what I want to see from this is I want to see them go back to old shows. I want to see them even use that same old entrance for the show from the old ones. That's what I want to see, because when I see this logo, I'm reminded of Bobby the Brain Heenan. I'm reminded of Gorilla Monsoon. I'm reminded of Jesse the Body Ventura. Even Vince McMahon was announcing some of these
Mhm.
shows. So that's what this brings me back to, and that's how I want it to be. I want this to be a very like a, how do I describe it? Like an upbeat kind of show. I want it to be a very, very upbeat type of pay-per-view. I look forward to these so much because we got matchups on these shows that were huge. We'd
Yeah.
we'd have like Hulk Hogan going up against King Kong
Think
Bundy
so
on
far.
these
Yep.
shows. We so the and a lot of them were for titles.
Yeah.
So I want to see this built up like that. I hope it's not just the name that they're using, but I want to see them go all out with this. I want to see this be a big celebration of what this used to be. And yeah, I mean it is on NBC again, so that's what I want to see from this. And I hope I'm not going to be disappointed. But they've been pretty good with nostalgia stuff lately,
Mm.
and I think this is a can't miss nostalgia piece.
And and Joe, to your point, I think they just signed Jesse Ventura to a Legends contract, if I'm not
No, see,
mistaken, or it's been in discussion. So hopefully they do go back to the nostalgia piece and
yep.
dress all commentary up in like the same sport coat and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. I think that'd be really cool to
They
do.
used to wear the yellow ones, didn't they? Was it
Yep.
yellow
Yep.
jackets?
Yellow jackets.
Yeah.
Yep.
This was literally one of my favorite shows. I used to be so excited as a kid when this would come on, because I knew the matches were all going to be good, and so promos and stuff like that could even be kind of like classic promos and everything. Yeah, I'd absolutely love it, and I think that that's really what it should be. And if they don't go for that, it's a miss on their part.
Yeah.
But someone did say, the bonus baby said, I thought I heard that they had said they were going old school for the main event, and said and all. Good. They should.
Oh,
They should for sure. Man, we got a loaded December, and that's not normally the case.
no, it's not. It's not. Normally everyone's winding down in November and you're kind of
Mhm.
like, man, I can't wait until January until we get
Yeah.
stuff, but that's not the case this year. So
Yeah, usually WWE is just doing tribute to the troops
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Like it's usually very quiet month of December, but we've got a lot going on. We may even have to maybe see what we're doing the night of this and join Tazzy for it, because I know Tazzy's doing the stream. That might be fun to do.
yeah,
And just see if he's going to be doing it. I may have to join in on that and just check it out with him. Let's see. Make the entrance out of the blue cage. Yeah, man. Just go all out. Go all out with it. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun December, guys. Lots to watch. Lots of stuff to watch and lots of stuff to talk about. So,
lots. Yeah, for real. All right, Joe. Is it a little bit chilly where you are?
you know what? It is getting that way. Yes, it is.
Okay,
We're starting. In fact, I think they're calling for some snow
oh,
this coming Friday. So, and there's the big rain thing coming through, which we haven't had in forever. And then supposedly it's going to change over to some of that white stuff, which yeah. So it's
yay.
getting yeah, I know. Yeah, it's getting cold. I don't think you're going to see it. I think it's supposed to just come like kind of over PA a little bit, and it's certainly not going to stick. It's a little too warm out and stuff to do that yet. But yeah, that's I never like to see it. So.
Gotcha. Well, maybe we can heat things up, so we're not so chilly.
Yeah.
So we've got the burning question of the week, and let me move this out of the way. So, here it is, Joe. If you were in charge of AEW, and this is also to everyone in the chat, so please give us your thoughts. If you were in charge of AEW, what are 3 things you do to reach more fans? I feel like they have a good show, not the best, but a good show that deserves more viewers.
I would my biggest complaint honestly about them isn't the quality of their shows, it's the amount of the pay-per-views. So I would make it a point to get something done where you're going to do the HBO Max thing, or whether you're going to go with somebody else. I would get away from Bleacher and I would make the pay-per-views cheaper. I think that would go a long way with a lot of different viewers who just kind of think $70 or whatever that is just too expensive to pay. In this day and age, with prices of everything the way that they are, it's a lot. And so that's one of the first things I think I would look at is the pricing structure, and try to make it so that you can get people to watch some of this stuff that may want to watch, and they just can't. They were doing the stuff at Cinemark and everything, which was kind of cool. But I didn't even see, like, for the past couple pay-per-views, I didn't see, at least my Cinemark up here didn't have it. So I don't even know if that's even still a thing. So that's one of the things. I would look at, Jeff, I would study numbers, and I'm sure they do, but I would study numbers and I'd look at the age groups who are watching my show and really kind of dig in to try to figure out, okay, who watches the shows? Now, I saw some pictures of our arena when they came recently, because there were some people who showed me some pictures of people that I worked with and stuff that went to the event that showed me some pics of people, like I would look at the people who are going to their events. What age groups are they? Are they, teens, 20s? Are they older? Are they 20s, 30s, 40s? I would look at that too. And I would be like, okay, why am I getting this particular group out? Like if it's the 20 somethings, why am I appealing to them and yet I'm not appealing to the younger kids that come to WWEs? Or I'm not appealing to that. Maybe that's what it is. Look at those kind of numbers and try to decide how you can get more people to the shows. Because from what I've heard from everybody in the chat and people who've gone to see them, they said that they put on pretty good live shows.
Their live shows and the experience live, I will say, is as good as anything I've ever been to.
Yeah.
The environment
So there you go.
is absolutely electric. So
there you go. So why are we not selling more shows? And then maybe, Jeff, maybe they need to kind of do a little bit of what TNA is doing and take a step back. Maybe don't try to sell the 25 to 30,000 arenas out. Maybe take a step back and go to some of the smaller ones. Like our arena in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, that's primarily a hockey arena. And that gets like, I think the max that you can put in that place is probably 20 grand, maybe. But most of those are maybe a little bit smaller. Maybe start going to, if 20 somethings are the people that you appeal to, maybe start taking it to colleges. Maybe start going to some college arenas. Go to some college like basketball arenas where they don't have 20,000 seats. They might have 10,000 seats and stuff like that. Maybe look into that a little bit and try that. They're just some of the couple ideas that I have. But I think just take some time, see who is really watching your shows, see who it really appeals to. Is it the hardcore purist wrestling people that really just want to see great wrestling matches? Are they the people who you're appealing to? I think that's a big part of it. I think you really have to see, who your audience is and get to know your audience and appeal to that audience. That's what I think. Those are some of my thoughts on
it. My thoughts have very little to do with the product on the screen.
Okay.
And very much to do with some of the things behind the scenes. One of the things that I would do right away is I would cut ties with Dave Meltzer. I would ask him to kind of step back a little bit, because I think sometimes, to Conrad's point, I think sometimes they get unnecessary and unwarranted hate because of some of the people that do a lot of chirping. I would just that's what I would say with one of the things that I would do. Another thing that I would do, and I think someone brought this up, but get a street team in every city that you go to. Get people boots on the ground that are walking around handing out flyers. You're getting on local media, those kinds of things, and advertise and market your butt off. Collision was here Thursday in Albany, and not many people knew about it. So, I get that you're doing a social media push, and that's great, but old school guerrilla tactics when it comes to marketing still work. So I think getting out and going around and saying, "Hey, we got this show. We want you to be, we want you to be there." So, and then I think the third thing for me, is just stay, like, kind of carve out your own path. When AEW started, we saw a lot of the sports presentation kind of feel to it. I actually like that, and I think it makes it unique. I think having records that matter makes it unique. So I think, kind of making it feel different than everyone else. All right, and Conrad had a couple things here. He says, "Can I ask a reverse question? Can both WWE and AEW be great at the same time?" I would say here that's a tough question, Conrad, because I think that in some ways there's always going to be kind of a one-upsmanship kind of deal going. I think they both can be great at the same time without one tearing the other down. But I also think that they can both be great once some of these we'll say influencers and journalists remove their biases and start to cover things right down the middle. So that will be my response to the first thing. And then Conrad said, "Do you feel like people are spending all their money at WWE? I've looked up shows for WWE. I feel like I can't go anymore. It is expensive. I will give you that. It is very expensive. I think too, Conrad. So there are a lot of live events, but not necessarily WWE. I think that you've gotten more independence out on the road, and there are a lot of options right now. Um, and I feel like that's a part of it too. Plus, the economy right now sucks. I mean, I'm just got to be honest about it.
Yeah.
It sucks, and every company, whether it's WWE or whoever, not well, I shouldn't say every company, but a lot of companies are jacking up their prices to kind of stay status quo to keep up with the economy. But I do get your point though. I do feel like I'm priced out of some WWE events, especially um especially WWE events. And if you don't want to sit in the nosebleeds, and even if you do end up sitting in the nosebleeds, those tickets can be expensive.
Yeah. 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 Look, I mean, the last time I looked up, because I want to go to a Raw if it comes back, but the SmackDown that came up here the very last time I was looking up tickets, and they went up like when I went to Raw and took my daughter, I only paid, and I was literally 4 rows away. Now we weren't in prime seats. We were behind the announce desk, which kind of isn't good if you want to be on TV because they don't usually show that unless you're right up close to the desk. But I paid $50 for the tickets to go. Those same seats, when I priced them for SmackDown, which is an hour less show, they were 75. So they went up by $25, and that was only in the span of a year. So that's a lot. It's a lot. And especially for the people who really want to go and sit up front. Like if you want to sit in a front seat, $300-$400, if not more. So yeah, it's prices have certainly gone up for sure. For sure. So, and to your point, in the arena that we have, when AEW came, $25 were the ticket prices. So, yep. I feel like I won't go to another WrestleMania. Royal Rumbles. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, look at Jeff and I were so close. We were so close to WrestleMania last year, and we had spoken about possibly going. But when when I looked at the tickets, I was like, "There's no way I can't afford that." Like there was no way I could afford to go. And the tickets that were even in the seats that my dad used to call peanut heaven in the stadium, when you basically would be sitting so far up you couldn't see anything anyway, were the ones that were $500. Like if you wanted to sit down closer where you could actually see part of the ring instead of having to look at a screen. Because if I'm going to go to an event, this is why I don't go to NFL games anymore either. If I'm going to go to an event and I have to look at a screen in order to see what's going on, why should I be there? Why shouldn't I just sit home in the comfort of my own home and watch it where I could actually see much better?
Yep.
That's the way I look at it.
Yep. And you don't have to buy a $12 hot dog or
right. Yep.
a $7 Pepsi or any of that. And you don't have to fight traffic.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely agree. So in that respect of it, Conrad, to Conrad's point, AEW is much cheaper to see right now. Much cheaper to see. So I agree. And I hope that ends up coming down. $20 for parking. Yeah. All the other stuff. Because if we would have gone to Philly, right? Philly is so like you're certainly not going to stay near there because the hotels are insane right near the stadiums. So you're either going to have to, like me, I could have stayed with my sister because she lives, down the road from there. It's not that far, but and then all the other stuff that you're going to think of doing, like food, if you want to go eat somewhere close, which you're going to have to eat, and God only knows you don't want the stadium food. You're going to pay $20 for a hot dog. So, or God forbid you're a beer drinker. Holy God, man.
Forget it.
For a cup of beer, it's $20-$25. So it's insane. And it's a good point. It's a good point. A lot of people may just not be going to those events right now, but yet WWE is selling out all the time. I don't know. I don't know how those people get money. And a lot of those people are bringing kids. For the most part, when you look out at a WWE ring, you're seeing a lot of children now. A lot. Yeah. You're seeing a lot of kids like that, and they're down in front. A lot of them are in the front row. A lot of them are up close. So their parents are taking them, and that's a trip with, if you take 2 kids, 2 adults go, dude, it's like $1,000 or more for seats like that.
You out about $1,000 when you factor in parking, tickets, food. I mean, and heaven forbid you got to stay overnight somewhere.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's a great question. It really is. I wonder if AEW Stories, Full Gear moved 7K, Dynamite, Collision, Suffering.
And Conrad, here's what I'm gonna say too, that maybe not a lot of people want to hear when it comes to AEW, but I feel like I got to say it. I kind of feel like in some ways Dynamite, well, not Dynamite, but Collision, Rampage, all of that, I feel like Collision probably should have been held off for another year and maybe started at the end of this year. And the reason why I say that is with AEW, I mean, you're 5 years old. So having 2 shows and at some points 3 just makes it difficult for everybody to consume the product. So I feel like slow playing it, and I would even say down to the point of the arenas and everything. I mean, perfect example, Albany. In my opinion, there's no reason for AEW to run the MVP arena when they can run the Washington Avenue Armory.
Yeah.
TNA ran the Armory. NXT used to run the Armory. But you can get 3,500 to 4,000 in the Armory. Easy. Fill that up, and I feel like you're good to go. Whereas at the MVP, you can seat like 16, 17,000. But if people in the area are not even aware that your show is happening, it makes it real difficult to fill that up. So I just feel like, maybe scaling back in a couple ways might be helpful, could be helpful. I don't think it diminishes the success of the company. I just feel like, if you look at it 10 years from now, are those the types of decisions that can kind of help your longevity, is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yep. Great point. Good question. Good question. Perception is a mother, LOL. I could see them moving shows to like GalaxyCon.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that. I feel like, it's okay to kind of incrementally grow. That would just be my only thing that I've seen that I feel like they could have done a little bit differently.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, I agree. All right. Well, there you go. Good stuff. Thank you, everyone. AEW has a good audience size for wrestling, but competing with WWE definitely isn't possible right away. Well, they shouldn't want to. They shouldn't need to. I wouldn't bother with that. I wouldn't bother with that. You do your own thing. Everybody can be different. There's a lot of other companies out there that just do their own thing, and that's what I would do. I would just do your own thing. All right, man. I think we're going to favorite moments.
Favorite moments of the week. Let's do it.
All right, guys. We're in the final stretch here, guys. So 3, 2, 1. What were your favorite moments of the week in wrestling? That was, let us know. We will start with number 3. You guys start with number 3. We'll go to 2, then we'll go to 1. So number 3, Jeff, what do you have?
Number 3 for me is seeing The Miz kind of get back into a familiar storyline in a familiar place. I think that was my number 3.
Nice. I am going to go with, oh my goodness. My 3 is the phone call. My 3 is the phone call. That was kind of shocking, actually. I didn't expect it to come. I didn't know it was going to happen. I really thought that was going to be drawn out a little bit more. And so Roman's little phone call at the very end of the show, and the look on his face when he put the phone down and all that kind of stuff said a lot. And that was my number 3. I thought that was done really, really well. And it put another little added mystery type thing onto this whole storyline with the Bloodline. What is going on with Paul? So who knows? There's so many different ways it could go. We talked about him earlier. But yeah, that was my number 3. Just a very, very cool moment to the end of the show. So, all right, let's see what we got as everybody's 3s. ROH Hammerstein announcement. The ending of SmackDown, great cliffhanger. Fallon Henley versus Kalani Jordan from this week's NXT. Cody, Nick, WWE SmackDown. So Cody Rhodes and Nick. Yeah, that was pretty good confrontation between Cody and Nick. Yeah, for sure. I love how you referred to him as the well-dressed with the Miz and Final Testament signing their death wish by attacking the White Six. Roman not getting through to Paul Heyman on the phone. The first women's U.S. title qualifying match in matches. Bonus baby, he's Nick Nemath's brother. The end. Yeah, that was awesome. Roman's call. 100% bonus baby, says Conrad. On Friday Night SmackDown, I was there. Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool, man. All right, so there you go. Jeff, what's your number 2?
Number 2 for me. This is going to be a little bit outside of the box, but seeing WWE do something a little bit different with a couple different people. And one is Xavier Woods. You're seeing a slight character change, which I really like.
Yep.
And then obviously for me, being a Shinsuke fan, seeing him return, a little bit darker, which I like. So yeah, I mean, seeing some different things with some different folks. That's my number 2.
My number 2 was the whole thing with the Final Testament and the Wyatt Six. But the intriguing thing that got me, and I talked about this on the Fireflies Forever show, is the fact that you saw Scarlett and Nikki kind of go off on their own. I need to see that happen. I want to see a match happen with Scarlett in the match, not with the group. I want to see a one-on-one match with Scarlett and Nikki Cross. I think that would be absolutely awesome. Scarlett just doesn't get her due for being a wrestler, especially in WWE. They haven't used her in that aspect. So I want to see that happen. I kind of need to see that happen. I think it would be very, very cool. And so, yeah. So I think that was really cool the way they worked that into that. And I hope that ends up happening at some point where it's not just a group going at each other. So, yeah, that's my number 2. All right. Nia Jax versus Naomi for the Women's Championship. TNA getting Jordan Grace back. Josh Alexander sounds like he's making moves. Nakamura returning on SmackDown and attacking LA Knight. Yeah, that should be a good feud. Full Gear build, says Bonus Baby. B-Fab's impressive showing on Friday Night SmackDown. The Acclaimed moving on to Full Gear for the tag titles. Atticus Cougar returning to GCW last night. The Wyatt Six, Final Testament, and Miz, potentially a great feud. BFAB's entrance was fire and looked good, said Conrad. Yeah, good stuff. All right, we're moving on to our number ones, guys. Get your number ones in. Jeff, what do you have as your number one?
Number one for me, I've said it a few times during this show, but the way that the Hurt Syndicate has been introduced, the way that they've been featured, they are by far and away probably the favorite thing for me in wrestling right now. Knowing what should have been and could have been in WWE and seeing all of them get that opportunity now in AEW, I'm just happy for them. So that's my number one.
Okay. Mine, of course, was me being as big of a fan as I am of his, was the Joe Hendry, Ryan Nemeth song. I absolutely love that. I thought that was one of his best, even though it was one of his shortest. I like to hear them a little bit longer, but I think that was awesome. And then, of course, they wrestled this past week and stuff too. So it was great seeing Ryan's reaction when he came into the ring and Joe doing that, saying that he has a revised version of it. And he got all happy, and he's in the ring and he's like all hyped up, thinking it was going to be something good. And he just played the same thing. It's great, man. The Joe Hendry stuff is so fun. And he's just fun for wrestling. And I still think they need to do something with him. They need to get him that title somehow, some way. It's so convoluted now with everything going on around the title that who even knows what's going to happen. But it's one of the reasons why I am enjoying wrestling right now. And, I am a believer in Joe Hendry. And whenever he does the music, I absolutely love it. So that was my number one. All right, let's see what everybody's number ones are. The Wyatt Six and Final Testament and the Miz segment. The election is over. I can watch a show again without stupid attack ads. Yeah, that's a very good point. Watching Coach Prime and Travis Hunter play in person. Sorry, guys, it was a great weekend. Didn't catch much wrestling live. Coach Prime is being rumored to come and coach the Cowboys. By the way, it's been out there. He said he doesn't want to, but money may talk in that case. And who knows? Maybe the Cowboys will have such a high draft pick that they could draft his son as well and bring him down for that. So I got to say, as a Cowboys fan, I would probably love to see that because I think he would. He's a good enough coach where I think he could motivate people there, and I think that's something that's sorely lacking with the Cowboys. Number 1A, watching women's U.S. Title tournament match. The 1B, continued dominance of the Hurt Syndicate. Full Gear and War Games builds, says Conrad. My number one, Survivor Series, really taking shape from the ending of Raw to the SmackDown cliffhanger. Joe Hendry song about Nick. 2 was Crown Jewel. AB still is number 2. The Hurt Syndicate, also AEW going back to its roots and building up its tag team division.
Yes.
Yep. Tag team wrestling is awesome. Number 1 is Sawyer Wreck going through 3 death matches last night, winning the night and the ultra violent championship in her retirement. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we don't talk about GCW much. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, there you go. I heard the football game's getting good all of a sudden. Somebody said something in the chat. I saw it. Let's see. It was a blowout. Now it's 27-20. Okay.
Ooh.
It is. It is
All right.
getting good. Okay. All right. Well, guys, listen, that's going to do it for us for this episode. We shall return on Tuesday for Fireflies Forever. So make sure you join us for that. Obviously, 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will hopefully have more to talk about after we see Raw tomorrow night, as far as that goes. And then, of course, next Thursday, join us again for TNA Wrestling, which is getting closer and closer to their pay-per-view as well. So join us for that. We only have, 2 more shows? Yeah, I know. Might be 1 more, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, but that one would be Thanksgiving. Do they have an actual show?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I don't think they do. I think they have taped ones because they showed a taped one last year. So this is probably it. This is probably the last live show we're going to have from them before the pay-per-view this coming Thursday. So make sure you come out and check out the show, because the next one would be on Thanksgiving night, which we didn't even do a thing last year for it, because obviously it's a day for the holiday and everything. So big weeks coming up, big wrestling stuff coming up. Don't forget about the TIGS Awards. Like I said, don't forget to put those comments out there. Maybe an award that you would like to see us do in the show. Put that out there for us, whether it's in the comments on this video, or whether you put it out there to our email, which is above, you can see on the screen, or whether you put it out there on Twitter to our DMs. Let us know what you would like to see on the TIGS Awards. And that's going to do it for us for the night. We appreciate you coming out. Make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell to be notified about when we have future content as well. Check out all of our friends. Also, Conrad, check him out for all the AEW stuff. He does a great job with all that. So check out his channel. Obviously, Tazzy, who is doing, good God, wrestling, football, NXT, all of that. So make sure to check out Tazzy, C Wrestling as well, who does all the things you might have missed, which I sometimes will refer to those if I end up missing a show or don't see all of a show. So make sure you check out him as well, all friends of our channel. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming out and being part of the show. Please make sure that you stay safe. Always be kind to one another, and hopefully we will catch you all on the next episode of The Insiders. Have a great rest of your night, guys, and we'll talk to you all soon. Night, everybody.